Good morning, everyone. My name is Rintan Prameswari Santi Yuda, and in this opportunity, I'd like to present one of my seniors' research proposal. It's from Miss Wina Wahyuningsi. The topic of this research proposal is teaching vocabulary through Rifet's short story to the third grade students of junior high school. Vocabulary is the key to the language. Vocabulary contributes a great role to students who are currently learning a language to practice or perform their skills. However, in reality, most of students are lack in vocabulary even though they are fully exposed to the bright world which full of technology. One of a lot way to increase the vocabulary power is reading. Nowadays, there are many mediums available to gain the vocabulary needed by the students in the primary stage of the learning. Related with the issues, the researcher found that Rabbit, one of the popular language learning applications in mobile phone, combined between the digital written materials, reading activity and fun games, might be able to foster the students' vocabulary mastery faster than other mediums. In this research, the researcher presents 4 research questions. There are: first one, how are the scenario and the implementation of using Rifet's short story in teaching vocabulary on third grade at junior high school? Second, what are students' perspective toward the implementation of teaching vocabulary using Rifet's short story in teaching and learning activity? Third, what are students' difficulties in learning vocabulary using Rifet's short story? Fourth, what are teachers' difficulty in teaching vocabulary using Rifet's short story? There are some objectives or goals from this research. The first is to describe the scenario and the implementation of using Rifet's short story in teaching vocabulary for third grade students at junior high school. Second is to describe students' responses toward learning vocabulary through Rifet's short story. Third is to describe students' difficulties in learning vocabulary using Rifet's short story. And fourth is to describe teachers' difficulties in teaching vocabulary using Rifet's short story. The researcher hopes this research can help and support all of the elements who involved in education field, coverage teacher, students, and other element who wants to improve speaking skill. For teacher, this research can be used as a comparative when teacher choosing a media for teaching English, and also to motivate teacher to use and apply technology for teaching and learning activity, whether informal learning and teaching activity or non-formal learning and teaching activity. For students, it can help students to upgrade their skill related with the use of vocabulary itself, especially in reading and writing activity. And for English teaching and learning activity, it can be used as a suggestion or a reference for teaching speaking activity. There are some key terms for this research activity. First is vocabulary. Vocabulary is words as units that were part of grammatical patterns. Second is online learning. Online learning is an educational process by using the internet as its own media. Online learning is well known as e-learning, as well as one of the distance learning types. Third is short story. Short story is one of literary works, a piece of prose fiction that can be read in one sitting and focuses on one incident, which can be used as the teaching media in learning English. Fourth is private application. Private is a new app from Google's in-house incubator. It wants to help children who are struggling to read. The app hails from Area 122, Google's workshop for experimental projects, and includes more than 3 books for kids, as well as in-app assistant that can help kids when they are stuck on a word by way of advanced speech technology. The researcher takes the theory from some resources to give background knowledge and important information as literature review. The theories used by the researcher are presented according and following these points below. First is vocabulary. According to Wahyuningsih 2015, vocabulary is one of the problems confronted by English language learners. A good vocabulary and ability to use words correctly and effectively can help the students to make schoolwork easier. Rahmawati 2012 stated that vocabulary is the first element that the learner should learn in order to master English, well besides the other English components and skills. It is the main aspect of language proficiency that gives an impact on how well students read, write, speak, and listen. The second is short story. Edgar Allan Poe, 1846, as cited in DAS 2018, says that a short story should be read in one sitting from a half hour to 2 hours. According to Al-Alami, 2016, on Fajri 2018, short story deals with important elements that build the story itself. All of these elements take their own role to make the story sensible. They are them, plot, setting, character, and point of view. Shilpa 2015 states that in a short story there is always a point of view. That means who is seeing the events of the story. It could be either an first-person narrator. Here the narrator is the character of the story, or second-person narrator. Here, readers are the character of the story, or third-person narrator. This is the most common point of view used in stories. The third is technology as learning media, private mobile application. According to Johan Brand and Jamie Brooker, 2018, on Almanar 2019, technology gave a new environment and atmosphere to the learning. Started from the last centuries, technology was developed for multiple purposes and education is a part of the purposes. Private is an absolute must-have for both beginning and advanced young readers. The users can choose from a wide variety of categories adventure, animals, arts and crafts, learning, sports, and many more, but also access fun books from some of the most popular YouTube creators, such as Drum or Artbirds. This research used descriptive qualitative method, and researcher present three steps or phase. First is preparation, and then implementation, and last is evaluation. The subject of this research is students of third grade students of junior high school in the academic year 2022-2021. The instruments we'll use in this research are: first is observation. This instrument conducted in process of teaching and learning and have a function as monitor to know the real situation when implementing the media in teaching activity. Besides, the instrument to collect the data through this technique is field note observation. Second is interview. Interview have functioned as a tool for rechecking the data, which is researcher gain in collecting the data. Through this way, researcher can obtain the data such as a person's situation or personal data, experience, knowledge, etc. Last is documentation. It used to provide the data as proving and detailed information. This technique provides the data in photo or image, video, and others. The data in this research processed by Microsoft Excel. The data will use to provide the description about responses from teacher and students when applying Rifet's applications short story in teaching vocabulary mastery. The plan of the schedule can be seen on the PowerPoint. That's all my presentation about research proposal of teaching vocabulary through Rifet short story to the third grade students of junior high school. Thank you so much for your attention.